Hello, it is I, El Vencedor, and welcome to Maker Monday. We don't play the game, we make it. Oh, yes, we do. I have a bit of a, bit of a cough today, and what I want to do today is I want to show off a few things first. We're gonna make an image on Krita, but before we do that, I want to go back to something I made last week, or I introduced last week. It's called Game Maker. Well, I should have opened this up before starting the stream. I don't know why I screwed up this badly. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. Hey, Maria, how you doing? Now let's go to the platformer template. And what we're going to do here is we are going to view the code that was already made by the platformer template. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at a code. Let's start off with create. And let's try putting this over here so that we can see this more clearly. Now, in create, already we have, this is the part where you put the, what's the word, the ground rules for the object. Over here, like what's the word? Like the commentary says, this is the part where that tells you how many coins the player has collected. In which case, the game starts with coins being 0. Now, this part is very important. It tells you if the player is currently facing knockback. Knockback is an effect in games that tells you that the player character is being knocked back or pushed back one space. In gaming, this also means that the player character is temporarily out of the player's control and temporarily cannot interact with other objects. Without the effect of knockback, all it takes is for a character, an enemy character, to continuously knock into the player character, and that's an instant game over. Think about Mario, for example. In the Mario game, once you have the power mushroom, it does more than just make Mario bigger. It also gives Mario the ability to suffer one knockback. Which means, of course, if the player character comes into negative contact with an enemy character, then something bad happens. In this case, Mario not only shrinks, that means its sprite changes, but also temporarily becomes invincible, but not in that way. In the way that he cannot be touched anymore for a period of time. That's what knockback does, and that is why having the knockback code is so important. Pardon me, I have allergies. Now, over here, we have the object that replaces the player once it is defeated, in which case defeated means the player character has run out of health points, and health points are determined by another separate code. So once the code over here says defeated object, referring to the player, then over here is the value with is object player slash defeated, meaning that there's another object called object player defeated. So when the player is defeated, the main object, which is object player, is changed for object player defeated. Now this says flag for if a jump is detected, and says jump slash input equals false. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that until you press the button that makes jump be true, the player will not jump. So the game reads that the player is not jumping because jumping is a command that is determined by the pressing of a button. If you put this as true, that means that the player character is always going to be jumping, whether you control it or not. So it needs to be put as false. This is known as a Boolean code, which means that a Boolean code only has two options, either be true or be false. True means that the Boolean code starts working. False means that the Boolean code does not work until you tell it to work. That means turning it from true to false or from false to true. Hope you understand. The player jump is a function. That means that over here there is a function or a step for the player to jump. And when you jump, the sprite is replaced from sprite player, that's this one, to another sprite called sprite player jump. This is important because if this sprite is not replaced, then you stay the same. And that breaks the immersion. It's been that way since the days of, well, way before the Atari 2600. Actually, yes, the Atari 2600, yeah. And the image index equals 0. That's the first one. Now, what does this mean? Ground to false. Well, when you jump, you cannot be on the ground. When you walk, you have to be on the ground. So, the way this works is you're not grounded when you jump. That means when you jump, the sprite leaves the ground and enters the sky at a velocity. In this case, velocity y, which is already determined as jump speed, which is a value that's already been pre-made. Oh, excuse me, I am gassy. Ugh. And when you are done jumping, the jump input is placed back into false once more. So basically what this means is you press a button, in this case it's space, and jump becomes true. You go up a velocity of y, and after that, because of another part that we will explore later, you go back to the ground, and the jump input becomes false since you are not jumping anymore, and you are not pressing the button to jump anymore. Meaning that you gotta let go of the button and press it again if you want to jump again. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. And of course, we have the sound variable, which plays an audio sound, which is then determined to be SND jump, that means sound underscore jump. And over here we have the volume and tone. So that means that when you jump, when you press the button for jumping, you're going to play a sound. And it'll be pitched in a way. And that's all you need to know for now. There's also a falling sprite. A falling sprite is different from a jumping sprite because think of it this way. When you jump, that is one half of a movement. When you jump, that's one thing, you going up. And when you fall, that's you going down. So you have a sprite for going up and another sprite for going down. And when you go down, that means that the game is noticing, wait a minute, you're going at a wrong velocity. So when you're hitting a velocity speed, that is when you change the sprite to sprite player fall. And this works either if you're jumping or if you are falling off a ledge. The game checks when your velocity is changing. And when that happens, you can have the sprite change. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And it's very important that that happens. Ugh. Now, the grounded value over here placed in purple-ish is a Boolean. That means it can only be true or false. And when it's true, that means the player is on the ground. When it is false, that means the player is not on the ground. When the Boolean, when this condition is false, the game can reinterpret the sprite and interpret it either as jumping or more commonly falling. Hope that makes sense. And over here we have an important piece of code, which is sprite index, which is sprite player walk. Sprite index means an asset, a combination of sprites, and that is important because it prevents the player character, the player, from seeing a sprite you're not supposed to be seeing. For example, imagine that you are falling, but because you press the keys, your character starts doing a walking animation in midair. We don't want that because we do not want to break the immersion. So instead, the code writes that the sprite player walk index only happens if grounded is true. I hope that makes sense. Well, I think I explained these codes enough. There will be more next week, I promise. For now, let's go to Krita, and we are gonna make something very, something very simple. We are gonna make a background, and we are also gonna make parts of an image. We're gonna make an image for our game Garden Monsters. This is an important image, so I hope that you can forgive me for making it. The first thing we're gonna do is we do not want a colorless background. We want it colored, like so. This is important. Trust me. Then we add this, player one, paint layer one. So we are gonna call this sky, city lit sky. And this is important for us. And we're gonna have it this color. Yeah, this color is fine. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And we are now gonna fill all this with paint, like so. And we over here I see lines. I do not like that. Let's fix that with some paint. The paint ain't a pain. Beautiful. Beautiful. Next, we are gonna add something called the skyline. And we are gonna add, well, we're gonna add some, or you're gonna see. Let's add in some, excuse me a second. Well, actually, that gives me an idea. Tools, options. Actually, yeah. And like this, like this. Yep, yep. Look at that. And these are basic buildings. Next, we add another layer called the foreground. And unlike this layer, we are gonna make it like so. Oh, better make it like this. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I will push, stare down the walls, da 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 da, to keep me awake. And I will push, stand together, 'cause I am Lord. Yeah, 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 I am Lord. Yeah, 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 I am Lord. You guys remember that South Park episode? So lame. There we go. There we go. And now we're gonna fill it up with juice, like so. And what is this? I'm hearing you ask. Well, hold on. No, 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 no. I'm feeling good on a Wednesday with sparkling thoughts. Help me unload the car, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so we push to close the door on the clothes you made from me to keep me away. And now we push, stand together, for I am Lord. Yeah, 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 yeah. I am Lord. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am Lord. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now we're gonna go back to city skyline and we're gonna make some windows over here because these buildings are looking a little empty. Next we add some cracks, like so. The cracks have to be thinner than the windows out of necessity, lest people confuse them for windows. You're gonna be noticing something, aren't you? And now we're gonna erase. There we go. Hey, Emilio! How are you, my friend? How are you? How are you? How are you? There we go. I'll make this one broken and this one broken too. This one as well. This one as well. And this one as well. Post-apocalyptic. Next, in the foreground, we're going to add some stuff called the tails. We're going to add some rocks, some boulders, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Oops. Like so. Yep. Let's mix some color in here. Put a little more color to it. Very good, very good. Not bad, but still not great. I think it needs a little more. It needs a little more brown, I think. Where can I get the brown? Here we go, the brown. A little more brown, please. A little more brown. Here we go. Let's add a little brown over here. And a little more brown over here, too. And a slight bit of brown over here. And you know what all this needs? A little shading. So let's add in a little shading like so. Paint layer. And we're going to make it all black like so. But we're going to lower the opacity like this. So now it looks all depressing. And now we're going to add something over here. Let me just lower the opacity over here. We're going to add something over here called clouds. Oh, clouds. I want some clouds. But it won't do to have these clouds be white. So let's have these clouds be a little on the sickly side. Not that color. Hmm. We need some inspiration. Let's see what radioactive clouds look like. Purple, orangey, whitish gray. Hmm. Purpley. Let's go for purple, shall we? Purple is over here, so let's go over this way and make the clouds this color. Okay, here we go. Let's fill up these clouds up in here. Beautiful, beautiful. And let's do a little coloring, you know, just fill this up a little bit more. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And a little bit of this. This is very interesting. Now we return over here and we lower the opacity, and it's looking better, but I think it could stand for a little more. And I think I know what I need to add. I need to add this, a little of this, a little of this. Let me unopaque it a little more, and let's go back to details. And we're gonna add one of these. Oopsie. No, no, no. Tool options, not background color, foreground color. Yep. Not there. And now for some black and a little white. A little silly, but I think it gets the message across. Hmm. Ah, hold on. Let's erase this. Let's erase this part. In fact, let's erase the whole thing. And we're going to do it better this time. Back to white. Back like this. This time we're going to have it like this. No. No. You know, better. I don't know how to make a skeleton, so I'll just not do that. Instead, let's just add some reeds around here like this, like that. Add a little of the shading. A little shading here too. Make it less thick. Where to go? Oh, there it is. Oopsie. And there we go. And back to this, and there we go. Awesome. I actually like that. I think I'll keep it like that and not change a thing. Save as PNG. Post-apocalypse, or just post-apoc. There we go. So what's this picture for, huh? Well, this is a picture for the game Garden Monsters, which we will use in a future update when I get back. And actually, I already am back to working on Garden Monsters. Now let's make another oopsie, another image. Create. This one is much simpler. We're gonna have a regular old background over here. Oopsie. Give me a second. Let me show Dockers. Dockers. Where's the Dockers? Okay. Colors, colors, colors. Show colors, colors. Artistic color selector. That's not it. Oh, why did I have to take out that Docker? I needed it. Okay, take this out. Settings, stalkers, 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 stalkers. No, no. Small color selector. Not that one. Do, 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 do. Huh. Okay. Huh. Digital colors mixer. Again, the wrong one. Oh, this is inconvenient. Colors. Colors. Where are... Oh, specific color selector. Oh, okay, here we go. No, that's not it. Not it, not it, not it. Palette. Actually, keep that. Keep that, but put it over here. And take this out. Yeah, we're going to keep palette. That's what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to put this over here. Okay. And there we go. We're going to keep this. This is a sun. You can tell. But here's something you might not know. Palette. Let me see. Which orange do I want? I want this dark tangerine color. There we go. And we are going to select it. Copy, image, and edit. Paste onto active layer. And we're gonna put this over here. Very good. And then we're gonna edit again. Paste into active layer. Only we're gonna edit over here. We're gonna rotate this 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees, and then we're gonna make it bigger. And there we go. I made a figure. But we're not done yet. Now we're gonna have to draw a hand. And we're gonna call this hand skeleton. And it's very important that I call it that. First, the skeleton goes like this. Now let's have it white. Better make it black. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course over here we want to have this over here. No, this. A bit of a triangle, and this like that. Now we want to copy the whole thing. Copy, edit, paste onto active layer, move this over here, and we want to have it mirrored like so. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like so. And there we go. These are the skeletons of the hand. And it's very important that we do this so we make the skeleton. The skeleton will be made opaque later, transparent later. I just need this so I know what I am making. Next, we're going to make the hands like so. Now, I'm thinking they need to be the same color as our Mr. Sun. Yellow. And we are going to increase the size of our like so, like so. Oopsie. Like so, like so, like so. Now we erase this part right here, which implies that the hand is separate. And there we go. The thumb is made. We delete this part, and now we make it like this, like so, like so, like so. Hold on. I just realized something. This is the pinky, thus it should be smaller than the others. This is the ring finger, thus it has to be bigger than the pinky. The middle finger has to be the biggest of them all. And the pointer finger is about the size of the ring finger. The middle finger is looking too fat, so let's change that. Like so. And now we're going to delete something over here. Deleting the parts that separate the hand from the blah, 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 blah. The fingers from the hand, the fingers from the hand. Now we are going to fill this up with paint. It looks like caca. It looks like caca. I hate it. But I actually like the skeleton itself. What do you guys think? Let's change the color of the skeleton. Yeah, that works fine. That works fine. I'm not really bothered by that. Really adds to mysticism. Hmm. I like this. Now let's add in some details over here, and we're gonna change it from hands to hand details. Now, things about hands you gotta know is that our palms have little lines, palm lines. So that's what we're gonna add, some palm lines with this color. This color. No, no, no. This color. And tan line over here like so, like so, like so. And over here, we're going to have this palm be a little different. It is like so, like so, like so, like so, and so. Now for the for the thumb prints. There we go. And there we have it. We have this image. And we are going to call this image, I don't want to spoil anything. So PNG, and it's going to be SG1. And now, here's the part that's going to be a little confusing. So bear with me. We are going to invert this. We are going to transform this. And have our figure over here move his hands. Or, shall I say, he's going to close his fists. Like so. The first thing I'm going to do is undo just that. Hold on. Redo, 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 redo. Where's the redo button? Redo. Oh, Control Shift Z. Control Shift Z. I said Control Shift Z. That must be the other Z. Ah! Oh, no wonder. It doesn't matter. Image, edit, undo, redo. 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 Ah, phooey. Doesn't matter. Hold on. Copy. Open recent. Open this. Okay, here we go. Now what we're gonna do is, if this game will let me, is I am gonna just erase everything like so. But well, not everything, just the part I don't like. This opened the PNG and I wanted to open the Krita. Open. This is the difference between the PNG and the Krita. Where's the Krita? Where's the Krita? Where's the Krita? Oh, okay. Here's the Krita version. And this is important because the Krita version has the layers like this. And what we're gonna do now is this. Do you see these fingers? We're gonna move them down here. So let's hope that I'll be able to do precisely that. Edit, cut, and paste onto active layer. So we are seeing a difficulty. First off, let's do it again. Dang it. I'm in a vector layer, aren't I? Ugh. Okay. Okay, this sucks, but I know how to fix this. Give me a second. Give me a moment while I think. Actually, give me a second while I have to do a thing in real life. I'll be right back. Pardon that interruption. Okay, we're gonna do this again. One more time. See how much easier this is when you're dealing with Krita? Instead of deleting all the fingers, I only deleted the little marks I made because they are in a different layer. And the other layers, the ones that are the fingers, remain unbothered. All right. And this reminds me of what I need to do now. Now I do this. This time we're going to cut. I said cut. Cut. Oh, this does not want to listen to. Boy, am I silly. Yes, I will be closing the fingers, but only 3 of them. Edit, cut, and now we are gonna paste these fingers, paste into active layer, and move them over here. Oh, but that reminds me, I need to add some details now, don't I? Well, thank goodness I found that out just now. No, control no, not that color. Let's make it black. I just like black. Though now that I think about it, it would be easier for me to just do it like this. Hand edit, cut. Now we're gonna paste into active layer, like so. Edit, paste into active layer, like so. And we're gonna put these around here-ish. Around here-ish. And we are gonna paste. Hmm, paste again into active layer over here. Only we're gonna mirror this horizontally. And over here, we are gonna be cutting this part. And there we go. Now we're gonna save as SG2, and it's gonna be a PNG. And there we go. Now, what are we gonna do? A whole lot of nothing. That's what we're gonna do. Yes, I need knuckles too, but I don't have any. Ah, fine, fine. I'll make some knuckles because people like to bother me. Okay, hand the tails. There we go. There, that better? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. And if you're wondering why it looks like this, remember that this is a divine being, so the rules don't apply to it or him. And there we go. We've made not one, not two, but three images for garden monsters. Uh, no, no, not that either. I hope you guys had some fun, and I'll see you